A plane took off in 1955 and landed 37 years later without a single minute passing for the passengers. This is the incredible story of Flight 914. On July 2, 1955, a Boeing 707 took off from New York's Idlewild Airport, now known as JFK International Airport, bound for Miami. There were 57 passengers on board. The weather was clear, and the flight was normal. There was nothing that would foreshadow the bizarre mystery that would soon unfold. But somewhere, en route, the plane vanished from radar. There was no crash, no distress call. It simply disappeared. The airline immediately declared Flight 914 missing. Years passed, and the case was eventually closed with no answers. Then, in 1992, after 37 long years, the plane suddenly reappeared. It was spotted over Caracas in Venezuela. Air traffic control was stunned. They watched as the plane, still on autopilot, made its way to the runway. Moments later, the pilot radioed in. "This is Flight 914 from New York to Miami. Request taxiing instructions." Over. The air traffic controller was thrown. He replied, "This is ridiculous. We don't have your flight plan. What's your altitude?" The pilot responded with the altitude he was supposed to be at. But the controller knew that if the plane was at that altitude, it should have flown right by. Confused, he asked the plane to land and stay on the runway. When the plane finally landed and the door opened, the authorities were shocked. It was as if the 37 years had simply been erased. The pilot and the remaining passengers who had boarded the plane in 1955 were confused and terrified. For them, no time had passed. The passports in their names were from 1955. Their clothes were from the 50s. Even the newspapers they were reading on board were from that year. Before anyone could figure out what was going on, the pilot got back in the plane and took off again. And just like that, it vanished into the clouds. It disappeared without a trace, leaving behind only the air traffic recording and witness statements. Was it a time slip, a wormhole, or something else entirely? Whatever it was, Flight 914 was real, and it still hasn't been explained. Now it's time to make a decision. Would you board a flight that never lands? Let me know in the comments. And if you're ready for more, check out these videos.